Hey guys, and I think we are live. Welcome to our Facebook Live for the month of June. And actually, this time we're going live on YouTube as well. So if you are on YouTube, you can check us out, and we are simultaneously broadcasting on both YouTube and on Facebook. So I already see a lot of people in the room for Facebook Live. I'll be kind of jumping back and forth between Facebook and YouTube to answer some of the questions for our live AMA today. But so glad to see you guys here, and welcome to all of you that are joining us. Definitely excited to be sharing, this hour with you and answer any questions. For those of you that are kind of just joining, if you don't know the kind of format of how this works, usually I spend about an hour each month on these live videos, and now we're kind of broadcasting again on Facebook and YouTube, so to open up to a larger audience that might not have Facebook or might not have YouTube or not active on one or the other, give you more options to check out our live videos here. And basically in this 1 hour, I really sit down with you, and really it's just a conversation as to what you want to know, what you want to get answered about your embroidery and custom apparel business, and I'm here to provide those answers and hopefully get some guidance for you to kind of move forward or scale your business. Or if you're just thinking about jumping into the embroidery world and custom apparel world, this is also a chance to ask any questions that's on your mind to kind of get more clarity and make that leap. So with that said, we got about 80 or so people on Facebook. I'm going to quickly jump over to YouTube and see how many people we got there. Got about 20 something people there on YouTube, so still some trickling in. Good to see that it's a good turnout. And I wanted to, before I get started, make a couple of quick announcements. One, if you're joining our live stream today, either on Facebook or on YouTube, if you stay till the end, we'll actually be giving away a 3-month subscription to HoopMade, which is our own pre-digitized design library for embroidery files. So if you're an embroiderer and you're looking to get some pre-digitized designs that you can simply edit and embroider, or simply just pop into your machine and embroider, we'll be giving away a 3-month subscription to that. Actually, you'll see that on your screen very shortly. Basically, it works like an Adobe stock design kind of platform. You get credits every month that you can download for different categories. We have many different categories like animals and fun stuff and baby stuff. So anything like pets, you can search different categories and then download those designs that are already pre-digitized for you. Okay, there's three different tiers. Obviously, each tier gives you access to more advanced designs that you are able to download. So that will be giving away a 3-month subscription to this at the end of this live stream. All right. Now, before I kind of get started, as everyone's still trickling in, wanted to kind of ask you guys, is this your first time joining our live stream, either from Facebook or on YouTube? So make sure to comment in the comments below, and also just let me know if I've been talking for a while now, but let me know if our tech setup is working fine. You can see me okay and hear me okay before we kind of get started and jump into your questions. Just comment below where you're joining from, and if this is the first time you're joining us, or you've been seeing this every single month. I do know that a couple of customers here have always been top fans of ours and have joined these Facebook Lives or YouTube Lives every single month and get their questions answered. So let's see kind of what type of audience we're getting today. And just on a side note, as you're typing in some of those comments, make sure to smash that like button on the video, either on YouTube or on Facebook, so that it really keeps this on top of feed for everyone else that might be interested. And if you want to share that video to your timeline, feel free to do so. That way it spreads to a wider audience that might be interested in embroidery. Now, I kind of see here that there are a couple of people from Southern California, David Dutcher from Southern California here, Louis Ruffin here from Texas, Andy Payan from Arizona on Facebook, hello from Tennessee from Janet, nice, Taffy Parker from Arizona, and Maria Diaz, I'm at work, watching this from work, awesome. Hello from Missouri, from Patty Campbell. Nice, good to see you here. Yeah, let me know if this is your first time joining here. And we've got about 100 people on Facebook now. Let me go over to YouTube to really quick and see some comments there. Nice. Okay. Seems like we got a little bit of a bigger audience on Facebook, so I'll be kind of focusing on a lot of the comments here, but again, I'll kind of jump back and forth on Facebook and YouTube to answer any questions. All right, but Jay Young Senior, a top fan there. Yes, sounds great. Awesome. Good to see you again, Jay. Patty Campbell, my first time, excited to learn. Welcome, Patty. Valentina Ocampo, this is my second time. Well, welcome back. And Yolanda Powell from Nashville, Tennessee. Welcome, welcome. Elaine Kerr, first time exploring purchasing a machine to add to my home business for an added business option. Good to hear that. And feel free to ask some questions if you have any questions to get more clarity on, so we can help you kind of get that business started. Lewis Ruffin from Converse, Texas. Welcome, Lewis. Shan Hirth, first time here. Eddie Buzzin, hey Eddie. Kevin Mason, every month from Las Vegas. Good to see you again, Kevin. Tara from East Coast in Delaware. Linda Russell from New Jersey. Good to see you again, Linda. Awesome, awesome. Well, it seems like we got people from all over the place. We got people from Cleveland, Ohio. We got people from Arizona, from California, from New Jersey, from Texas, from Boston. I mean, it's pretty widespread. We even have people in the past that have joined from like South Africa or even in Australia, which is a very odd time of the night there. But good to see everyone here. All right, awesome. Let me go over to YouTube really quick just to see. Okay, also got some first timers here. Hello, Juan Albino. Hello from Davenport, Florida. Good to see you. We're in Florida as well. D Brooks. Hello from Illinois. Yvonne Bailey. Hello from Maryland. Awesome. Wow, got people from all over the place watching. Awesome. Great, great. Now, if you're on YouTube, yeah, make sure to hit that like button so you can share the video if you want, and hit that like button so it really kind of pushes out the YouTube algorithm and pushes this video out to people that are interested. Awesome, great. Well, it seems like we got a very good turnout, and looking to kind of get some of your questions answered. Like I mentioned before, this is really a time for you to ask any questions that's on your mind, and anything that you need more clarity on, whether you're starting out in the business or looking to grow. This is a good time to ask those questions. I do want to make one more quick announcement before we can go into the questions. And feel free in the meantime to start typing in some of those questions down in the comments. If you're on Facebook watching this, sometimes the comments they flood in and the comments do disappear, and I don't have a chance to get to them. If that happens and your question isn't answered, just make sure to type that again, and then we will go ahead and make sure to answer those. All right. Now, one last quick announcement before we get started. If you haven't already heard about Decco Summit, all right, that's our annual conference. This is the second year we're hosting that. Our annual conference here in Miami, Florida. This time it's going to be in the Sheraton. Last year it was held in our headquarters here when we just moved into this gorgeous new building. It's actually an annual conference, a 2-day conference that you can join to learn more about custom apparel, embroidery, direct-to-garment printing, heat transfer. All of those things are included in that custom apparel conference for those 2 days. You can join hands-on seminars, you can join different business seminars, or even opt into higher tickets for hands-on training if that's something that you're interested in. It doesn't matter if you have a Ricoma machine or don't have our machine. A lot of the concepts that we're teaching here on embroidery, on direct-to-garment, on things within whether it's pricing or other things inside the custom apparel industry are all relevant and can be applied to your business. So whether you're just a beginner or you've been doing this for a while, I'm sure you'll get a lot of value out of this and be able to network with others and meet some new friends as well. But most importantly, be able to learn something to take away and go back to your business and implement it, and it'll be well worth the actual trip. So it will be on from October 1st to the 3rd. The first day is actually the VIP day. So if you have a VIP ticket and a hands-on training ticket, you can join on the first day, which is going to be actually in our headquarters here. You can visit the office and get the hands-on training on the machine of your choice. And then the day 2 and day 3 are for general admission and VIP tickets, where you get access to the business seminars and things like that. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to type in the comments below. Happy to answer that. Or if you have any other questions about embroidery or custom apparel in general, happy to answer some of those comments. So feel free to fire away in the comments below. I'll kind of go through those now. Kimberly Courtney, Kim from Michigan. Thanks for your help with my machine, Harry. Not a problem, Kimberly. Glad to help. We're always here for you. Linda Russell had an awesome time last year, referring to Decco Summit. Yep, definitely was a blast last year. So last year we had about right around 100 people attend Decco Summit. This year, our ticket sales has already started back in April. So a lot of people have already purchased their tickets. And the event is in October, so you still have some time, but the ticket prices are going to go up as it gets closer to the event. And this year we're expecting about 200 to 250 people. So more than double what we had last year. So a lot of people are, and that's why we actually got an actual venue at the Sheraton near the airport here in Miami to be able to host this conference. All right, so Shan Heath, Shan Isaacson Heath asked, what is the best and easiest startup for inexperienced sewers? Great question, and probably a very similar question that is on a lot of people's minds. And I would say that if you don't have experience in sewing, obviously there's going to be a learning curve with any machine you choose, right? I would say that depending on your volume or the types of items you're doing, you're best off going with a single head machine to start out with, and that could be our EM1010 on the 10 needle smaller side, on if you're on a budget, or on the higher side an MT1501 or a TC1501 that's more of a fully commercial 15 needle machine. Now, without kind of prior experience in sewing, although this is not necessary to have prior experience in sewing, but obviously if you do have prior experience in sewing, it's going to be a lot easier for you to learn about embroidery because you already kind of know about bobbin and thread and needles and those kind of things. But that's why every machine purchase comes with the actual training to get you started, right? The training and then the ongoing education, that ecosystem of support, and making sure that we have our support team here that you can always call. We're the only one in the market that has 7 days and after-hour support. So if you're working on a project on a Saturday, on a Sunday, you have someone that you can call to talk to, and I think that peace of mind, especially for people that are starting out with no experience, is going to be tremendously helpful for you to kind of climb that learning curve and be well on your way to become an expert as you kind of gain that knowledge. Pedro Sandoval Jr. says, learned a lot last year and met some great people. Awesome, Pedro, and I assume that you're referring to Decco Summit. So hopefully we can see you back here again this year. Arnett Gill asked a question. We have a MT1501. We're experiencing thread breaks and want to know if there are specific threads we should purchase, like Madeira, Isocord, etc. Those two names that you mentioned, Arnett, are great threads. You can use either of those on the MT1501. I think a lot of times when you do have thread breaks, you need to check a couple of things, right? You need to check whether your needle is in backwards, if you recently changed out a needle, if your needle is dull, if your thread path is correct, if your tension is correct, which there's a tension test that you can actually run. So all of those things are ways to look at thread breaks, provided that you have good quality thread, right? But if you have Madeira or Isocord, you should be in the clear there. And you need to just check these other things like thread tension, thread path, your needle placement, whether it's in backwards, whether it's dull, you've been using that same needle for a while, hasn't been changed out. All of those things could be potential factors on what to look for in troubleshooting for a thread break. Now, we also have a guide, an ultimate guide for troubleshooting thread breaks, because not all thread breaks are created equal. There are false thread breaks. There's thread breaks that are fraying, like the thread is actually fraying. That's also a different type of thread break than the thread just snapping. So looking at and spotting what type of thread break you're getting, we actually have a flow chart that you can just follow and determine kind of what kind of thread break you're actually having. So if you want to download that, my team will be able to pin that in the description below. And you can download that, but also just as I mentioned before, we have our support team here. So don't be shy and give them a call and ask them, hey, I'm having these different types of thread breaks, whether it's on one needle or multiple needles, and they can take a look via video conference and kind of help you troubleshoot and get you back up and running as soon as possible. All right. So Lewis Ruffin asks, how much does it cost to become a certified technician through Ricoma? That's a great question, and we actually have a certified technician course that spans over several days. If that's something that you're interested in, get in touch with our service team, and they can give you the schedule for that. We're actually thinking about perhaps on the first day of the Decco Summit conference, on that day, to have a separate technician training class. That's not a ticket that's on the website. But we've had people that are kind of, we have several people that are interested in that, and depending on the demand, we might host a day in a separate room just for the actual technical certification. So if that's something you're interested in, feel free to get in touch with our team, and we can put you on the list. Dora Lynn Porter asks, what is the best machine to purchase just starting? Great question, Dora, and I think I kind of answered this a little bit prior in several questions, in the past, which is, if you're starting out, probably it'll be a best fit to go with a single head, and we have 4 single heads that are available. We have the EM1010, which is a 10 needle single head. We have the TC1501, which is a commercial 15 needle single head. We have the MT1501, which is another commercial 15 needle single head, and then we have the SWD 1501, which is also a commercial single head. So there are slight nuances between the commercial single heads in terms of embroidery area, clearance area. So if you're looking to do bulkier items, you might want to go with like jackets and bags. You might want to go with an MT1501 or an SWD 1501. And an SWD 1501 has the largest embroidery area amongst all those single heads, and actually in the industry as well in terms of single heads, with an embroidery area of 32 inches by 20 inches. So it's very wide and very deep. So people use them for sashes, for table runners, along with everything else like caps, jackets, bags, polo shirts, and things of that nature. So really it's about asking yourself, what are you looking to do? What's your volume? And if you're just starting out, I think going with a single head would be the best bet. And it's just picking out of one of those 4, depending on your budget, depending on your space, right? Depending on how portable you want the machine to be. EM1010 is the most portable at 99 pounds. And you have the SWD, that's over 300 pounds. So, those are questions that you need to think about, and get in touch with one of our product specialists here, and they're more than happy to kind of go through that with you and recommend you what's the best machine depending on your specific needs. It will be hard for me to answer those specifically if you on a live without knowing all those details. So get in touch with one of the product specialists, and they will be able to help you with that. Monique, okay, that comment disappeared really quickly. Were you able to capture it?
I think I can find it here in our chat.
Let's see. Monique asked a question, something about training. Get more training before the machine arrives. Nope, that disappeared.
Post it again.
Yeah, if you can post your question again about get more training before your machine arrives in 2 days, something along those lines. If you can post it again, I'll get to it when I see it again. All right, let's see. Janet Tingle Doran asks, how is the best way to get clients? Marketing tips. I think starting out, Janet, you have to kind of pick out the low-hanging fruits, right? Look in your network and see who is in need of embroidery. Maybe it's a local school that you have an in with. Maybe it's in real estate. Maybe you have a local doctor's office, or whatever the case is, right? A local daycare. Look at what's local to you, and look at the low-hanging fruits, the ones that are in your network that might have businesses or can refer you people that are in need of embroidery or custom apparel, and get those first, and then you kind of get the ball rolling before doing any massive advertising or anything like that. Then obviously create a Facebook account, create all of those things to make sure you have a social presence. Create an Instagram account. That's something I always tell people. Embroidery and custom apparel is very visual, so Instagram is a perfect platform for doing that. Anytime that you are embroidering something or doing something for a client, make sure you snap a video, make sure you snap a photo, post it on Instagram, and showcase your work, right? So that's a great way to kind of get the name out there. And as you get more of that, you're gonna build that word of mouth. and on social media, people are going to find you. Then you can think about actually scaling it, and if you have the capacity for it, actually scale up and find more business. But before getting to that point, I would look at the low-hanging fruit in your network. If you're just purely starting out with no background in this, look in your network and see if you have a friend, family that's able to get started with, and or can refer you and have an in with a local school, a local daycare, a local hospital, and get your foot in the door there. And if you take care of that client, you're going to get more along the way. Jewel Brown Shelby asks, this is a quick question. What's the after hours times? I've called several times after 10 and no answer. So the after hours goes to 9 p.m. Eastern. So if you call after 10, it goes to voicemail, and then we'll answer it the very next day. Terry Schwenderman asks, do you finance machines? Absolutely. Right now we have 0% financing. So if you're looking to finance machines and get started for as low as, I believe, like $135 a month, that's something to consider. To put that into perspective, that's easily less than 10 to 12 caps or 10 to 12 polo shirts every single month, that you can cover that monthly payment of $135. So if that's something you're interested in, make sure you take advantage of that and check out the our website and get in touch with a product specialist that can guide you through the financing process. Shan Isaacson Heath asked, do you learn a lot at Decco Summit? Absolutely. I mean, we have over 40 sessions, and people learn a lot between the business side of things, how to price your items, how to do marketing, some of the things that we mentioned, how to design, also digitizing, right? Learn how to digitize. A lot of people want to learn that. To how to operate your machine, how to do special projects, how to do caps and other types of projects that freestanding lace. We had one last year on freestanding lace. It was very popular too. So those things that you can kind of also get your wheels turning on what types of items you can do, so that you can offer that service to your customers. And this is beyond just embroidery, right? We're gonna have direct-to-garment printers there. We're gonna have digital printing there, and transfer printing, and heat presses, right? All of those things are complementary to the kind of custom apparel world, and they're related. And especially nowadays, you want to have a one-stop shop to get everything, to be able to offer everything to your customers, so that they don't go to someone else to get something else, and then eventually you lose that business altogether. You lose that account. So bringing everything under one roof is also something that you should consider, depending on what stage of the business you're at as you're scaling. Obviously, start out and master one, and then as you have mastered that and you see that there's more demand for other apparel decoration methods that your clients are asking for, that's a natural way to go ahead and make sure you offer those services as well. All right, I'm going to quickly jump over to YouTube and see if we have any questions here. Okay, we do have a couple of questions here. I'm going to answer a couple of questions from YouTube. So one question from DHD World TV. Hey, I have a clothing line brand in Connecticut, but I would love to get on the operations side. If my credit score is low, can I still be able to finance a machine to start building my at-home business? So the only way to find out is really to get in touch with the product specialist and apply. And find out what you get approved for. Now, there's also different ways to apply. If your score is not that high, you can get a co-signer. That's another way to do that. Or if you've been in business for several years and you have business credit, you can go through a business lease to own program as well. And we have those options also. So depending, there's like 2 or 3 different options depending on kind of your situation. Alonzo Navarrete asked, what do you think about Babylock embroidery machines? Great question, Alonzo. And that's a question that actually I have 2 other videos on YouTube on our channel answering that exact question. And I compared kind of the Babylock / Brother, which if you don't know, Brother and Babylock are exactly the same machine. Brother actually manufactures the machine, and Babylock is just the private label brand that puts their own brand on it. You can see that the control panel, the machine build is exactly the same, and then just the colors are the thing that's different. So knowing that, And back to your question about kind of what do I think about Babylock machines? I mean, they're a great starter machine, right? Exactly the same as the Brother 10 needle. They have 6 needle and 10 needle options. So if you're looking at a like a multi needle machine, they have 6 to 10 needle options. They don't have any multi heads. If you're looking to scale, it's more of the kind of the home and hobbyist type of machine. The comparable machine to that from Ricoma is the EM1010. So like I mentioned, the Brother and the Babylock are the 10 needle machines. EM1010 that we have is also a 10 needle machine. And I actually did an in-depth comparison between the EM1010 and the Brother or Babylock 10 needle. And the major difference is this. I kind of slice it in 2 ways. The first way I think about it is, while the Brother and Babylock are great machines and they have a lot of bells and whistles of like auto thread the auto threader, right? You don't have to hand thread the actual needles, which is a great feature for some people. They have the camera option. They have you can have a stylus and you can draw on the screen. Like those things are kind of bells and whistles that some home embroiderers and hobbyists would really like. But I feel that with the fact that they actually sell through a dealership structure. So Brother and Babylock, while they manufacture the machine, they don't sell it on their own. They actually sell through a network of over 300 different dealers here in the US. And it's kind of like going to your local car dealer. So every dealer is going to have different packages for you, and the pricing is not going to be as consistent because every dealer, they might throw in different things or give you more thread or less thread or whatever the case is, and they sell it on an a la carte basis. So what does that actually mean? That means that if you just want the machine, it's like $10,000 to $12,000. If you want to be able to do caps, you will need the cap attachment and the cap hoops and the cap rings. Those are going to cost you an extra $1,000. If you need software, if you need digitizing software, it's going to cost you another $1,000. If you need the stand, like the actual stand that the machine can rest on, otherwise you have to put it on like a sturdy table. If you want the stand, another $800. So they really break down everything on an a la carte basis. And if you add in everything to be like quote unquote fully loaded, which is comparable to the EM1010. Like the EM1010 comes with from us, it comes with the stand, the software, all the hoops, and the cap attachment to be able to do hats, right? If you look at it apples to apples, when a Brother 10 needle or a Babylock 10 needle is fully loaded, it can easily be $14,000 to $15,000 from a local dealer. And in terms of the repair that you need to do, if anything breaks, you have to bring it back. You have to put it in the back of your truck and bring it back to the dealer for servicing. That's the model that all the dealers have. Kind of like your car, right? You have to drive it to the dealership. So that's also one thing to consider, versus we have a network of technicians that can go to you if needed and be able to be on site to fix any issues if that arises. So that's also a difference between dealership model and us selling it direct from us, the manufacturer, and having a whole support team to be able to support that. So on the Babylock comparison to EM1010, 10 needle to 10 needle fully loaded, the Brother and Babylock 10 needle are going to run you $14,000 to $15,000, while the EM1010 is right around the $9,000 mark, right? Fully loaded. So that in itself is a huge price difference of $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, right? So from a value standpoint, you're gonna get a lot more bang for your buck from the EM1010. Now, obviously, EM1010 doesn't have the auto threader and some of the camera and the stylus function and all of those, but you have to determine whether that's worth $5,000 in difference to you. But that's the comparison with the EM1010. Now, if you do have a budget of $14,000 to $15,000 and you want that top of the line and fully loaded with cap driver and be able to do hats with the stand, with digitizing software, with extra hoops and all of those things, and you have the budget of $14,000 to $15,000, you can easily get a 15 needle commercial machine from Ricoma, either the TC 1501 or the MT 1501, for around that price, $14,000 to $15,000. Right, so that also that comparison also doesn't really make sense in the fact in the way that you can get a commercial machine with 5 more needles with a larger embroidery area, because the Brother only has about a 12 by 8 embroidery area, 13 by 8 embroidery area, right? So that's the largest you can embroider. But the commercial machines that we have, the maximum embroidery area is 22 by 14. That's just on the TC and the MT single head. The SWD can go up to 32 by 20. It's a little bit more expensive, but still in the same ballpark as the Brother 10 needle fully loaded. So you just get a lot more. So if you're comparing to the EM1010, you're gonna spend like $5,000 to $6,000 more. If you're comparing it to the commercial machine, you're gonna spend equal. And if you have that budget, why not get a commercial machine that has more needles? It's 15 needles instead of 10, bigger embroidery area, you get everything included, and for the same price, right? So that is something to definitely consider, and that's my general view on those machines. But they're great machines, and they can do they could do flat, they can do caps, but everything is a la carte, so you have to kind of buy those extra add-ons to be able to do everything. All right, let's see what are some of the... Okay, I'll take another couple of questions from YouTube. Got another one from Rodrigo. How to sell my service and get more customers during this COVID-19 time? That's a great question, and I have multiple videos on YouTube, during the last several months covering this topic. I think one of the things, and there's so many tips that I can give you, but a couple of ones that come to top of mind is to offer more value to your customers during this time. You don't have to necessarily cut prices. That's the knee-jerk reaction a lot of people do. Oh, there's less business, so instead of selling things for the original price, I'm gonna sell it for less so that I can attract more customers. That actually will decrease your brand equity and decrease the value in your products and services. So you don't necessarily want to do that. You want to, on the opposite side, offer more value, right? Now that you have more time on your hands, go ahead and make sure that the turnaround time is super fast. Instead of turning around in a week, turn it around in 1 or 2 days, right? Offer that extra value to your customers. Offer digitizing for free, right? Don't charge a digitizing fee. That's something that you can also add extra value to your customers. All of those things are value add that you would attract some buyers and then build those long-term relationships with those customers to be able to after this whole thing kind of gets back to normal, they're going to become loyal customers and long-term customers. So that's one tip that I would give you. The other, I mean, there's so many things, but another thing that I would say is, Look at the trends. Look at what's trending right now. Masks have become like a staple of our world and the world that we live in, right? So in our society today, if mask is a staple, there's a lot of demand for customized masks, and even more so in the last several months. But I foresee that going forward as well, because recently, just as last weekend, I was in this restaurant, and all of their staff had face masks on, and all of them were branded with the logo on like the left bottom corner. So that alone, just in the restaurant staff, the chefs, the waiters, the usher, like all of those people had on masks. And so that was easily probably 30 to 40 staff members, and each of them they need at least 2, if not 3, right, masks to kind of rotate and wash, right? So that alone is a 100 to 150 piece mask order for one restaurant with 30 to 40 staff members. So look at where everything is trending, right? Like if masks are a staple of our society that we live in today, a lot of businesses are instead of getting polo shirts, are getting masks that are branded, because everyone's is requiring that they're wearing masks while they're in the facility. So that's a demand that you need to kind of cater to and fulfill that demand. So look at a different niche or things that are trending during this thing. Don't just kind of sit back and mope about it. Really look at what are people requesting, what are people wanting, and make sure that you can fulfill those needs. And we have several mask videos. I think 2 or 3 mask videos on our YouTube channel. Talking about how to do those. We even give you the design for free. So if you have one of our machines or any machine, you can use that design and stitch out the mask and decorate it. So I hope that helps. And there's a bunch of videos that I talk about this topic on how to excel in this environment. All right, last question from YouTube before I jump back over to Facebook. Hi, Henry. Where can I find tips and tricks for embroidery on leather, jackets, chaps, and such? So we have this ultimate embroidery cheat sheet guide which talks about the materials to use on leather. And jackets and things of that nature, like thicker garments, what needle to use, what backing to use. Not only that, that's one resource that you can download, Kim, but also there's a specific video. I think any topic, any garment that you want to ask on here on Facebook Live, we probably have a video talking about that on our YouTube channel. So search that on YouTube. I'm pretty sure we did a video on doing leather and the tips and tricks there. So check that video out. It can go into a lot more detail than I can on this live stream. Awesome. All right, I'm gonna jump back over to Facebook, and let's see. Probably a lot of questions came through from Facebook. I'm gonna go ahead and answer those. Andy Payne, do you have anyone local in Arizona for hands-on training? Absolutely, Andy. We definitely have people that are certified in Arizona, and actually we have an office in California, so it's quite close. Definitely reach out and see what you need. Anthony Peter asked, do you give contacts for wholesalers, for example, where to buy blank caps, etc.? Yes, absolutely. We have a PDF that gives you all that information on blank apparel, on where to buy different blanks and who are good digitizers to go with. Juan Ketz asks, what speed is recommended to run the machine? I always run at 650. Great question, Juan, and that really depends on the type of garment you're doing, right? I mean, we have a video on YouTube doing Richardson caps at 1,000 SPM. So as long as you set it up properly and you have all the calibrations right and you're doing the proper steps, lowering your press foot and all of those things, you can check out that video if you want. You can run that at higher speeds. It's really about kind of what you're comfortable with, how you're setting up the machine, what you're actually putting on there, right? There's also, when you're doing like metallic thread, you want to run that slower because those threads are more flimsy and they're easier to break, and at high speeds that friction is going to cause them to break more easily than if you slow the machine down. So it really depends on what you're doing. But at 650, I think it's a good speed, and it's a regular speed for anything that you do. For flats and polo shirts, you can probably go even higher than that. And for some caps, you can go higher than that as well, as we've done on some of the videos that we've shown. So feel free to try that out, as long as you have everything hooped properly and all that, the right backing, and the right setup. That shouldn't be a problem. Juan Hernandez asks, also, can I upgrade by trading in? Great question, Juan. Yes, you can absolutely upgrade by trading in. Usually, we recommend trading up to a multi-head. So if you have a single head, trade up to a 2, 4, or 6 head or above. That's going to get you the best value. You can also trade in single head to single head, like from an EM1010 up to like an MT1501, but the value is not going to be as good because you're trading single for single. But if you're trading up from single to a multi-head, a single head to a multi-head, 1 to 2 head, or 1 to a 4 or 6 head, you're going to get a lot better value on that. So depending on how long you've used the machine, how long ago you purchased it, the condition of the machine, that's how we determine a trade-in value. Laura Pasula asks, I've used thread art thread on my small sewing embroidery machine. Would it work on my EM1010? I'm not so familiar with thread art thread, but I'm pretty sure that if it's like polyester thread, it can work on the machine. Brown Roundward PM asks, what's the best way to get supplies easily at most economical way, and what's the first project I can do to make money? So you really have to look at who are the regular suppliers around your area, right? And see kind of, we have a couple that we can recommend on our list that you can buy supplies from, like Bobbin, and All Stitch is a great one. that you can buy a lot of bobbin and needles and those things with, and they're pretty affordable. You have to realize that with embroidery, actually, the supplies and maintenance is very, very low compared to some other apparel decoration methods. Like thread costs you like, you know, $5 to $6 for a 5,000 meter cone from Isacord, and that can definitely last you a while. And so when you break it down to like the actual like by pieces, like an individual piece of shirt or a polo shirt or cap, the actual material cost and supplies cost on that individual garment is like pennies on the dollar. You're talking about like 10, 20, 30 cents, right? The bobbin that it takes, the needle, the backing, the actual thread, all of those are minimal compared to your overall cost. The biggest cost that you'll run into with embroidery is your blank apparel and your labor cost, like your actual time. That's why we teach people to price based on time that it takes to do the item. Karen Steiner Dobau asked, I just heard that the 10 needle for the Husqvarna is the Ricoma with the name on it. True? I'm not at liberty to discuss that. That's probably a question that you would ask them, and if they say yes or no, that's depending on them. But I would say this. I mean, we OEM because we're the factory, we private label and OEM for a lot of people. We're just not at liberty to discuss who those people are. Wanda Baird asked, is Ricoma similar to Meistergram? Absolutely not. That we're not even kind of in that same category. So Meistergram, they're a commercial machine. They don't manufacture their own machine. They actually just purchase it from someone else. They're very much like, so I would put Meistergram and Highland and Meistergram and Redline in the same category. They're all three of them are private label brands. They purchase the machine from someone else and tack on the Meistergram name on it, tack on the Highland name on it, tack on the Redline name on it. Now, all of those companies, so Meistergram is sold, actually, their company is actually right here in Miami. They're sold through a dealer here. With Highland, they're sold through they're sold through a distributor in Texas, and with Redline also from Texas as well. So all three of them are companies that just purchase the machine from someone else and then private labels them. So one, they have no control over the actual quality and the support that they're able to give. Many of these companies will require you to ship back the machine for any sort of warranty repair. So for example, if you need the timing done and you can't do that on your own, you need to ship it back to them, and that's more downtime for you. That's more waste of shipping costs and all of that to just do a simple timing. So those things are things to consider. They're much more on the lower end in terms of price. And as I always said before, like us here at Ricoma, we're not the most expensive machine. But we're not going to be the cheapest machine either. Like we're kind of in that value zone to provide an affordable machine at the best quality and at the most value to the consumer. So the things that you get with like free training and all of that with some of the top brands, you don't get that with some of the other brands. You have to pay additional for that hands-on training. And other things like the 7-day and after-hour support. That's something that no one has in the industry, and besides us, and people like Meistergram or Redline or Highland, which is kind of in the same category, the lower end of their machines, more of the budget machines. They're definitely not going to have that level of support. Kesha Moss, just finalized my purchase. Looking forward to my training. Awesome, Kesha. Huge thumbs up there. I'm going to go ahead and like that. Huge thumbs up there, Kesha. Well, let me know in the comments below what machine you actually got. Make sure you take your pre-training classes, right? So after your machine ships, you'll get your tracking number, and then you'll get an email on how to log into my Recoma portal. That's a new customer portal that we've built here, where you can see the status of your shipment. You can see your pre-training classes, so you can make sure that you go in there and take those pre-training. There's going to be quizzes to make sure that you're prepared for your live training. And once you finish those, you're going to sign up for your live training, depending on what slot you wanna get into. But definitely super excited for you, and can't wait to see what you can do. Brian Cresswell, yes, but they have no stock. I was told that they're expecting a container in 4 weeks, but every machine in that one is sold. Yeah, so we've been selling a ton of machines, and that's why even the containers that are coming in on the water, they're being sold as they're kind of like floating on the water, you know. So by the time they get here, we might have a few left, and it depends on the model that you're looking for. Certain models are out of stock, like very popular ones are definitely out of stock. Those, but there's I think like close to 10 containers coming within the next two to 3 months. So there's a lot on the way. But you're absolutely right, Brian. There's a lot of machines that are on the water right now, and those are being sold already. So you want to kind of like, depending on the model that you're looking at, want to get in touch with your product specialist. Get a more accurate time frame. Again, I'm just kind of telling you off the top of my head, but I know that some models are out of stock, and but those are also on the way, and they should be here relatively soon, like early July or mid-July. Marshall PA asked, where can I find the mask videos? Yeah, just on the YouTube channel. Just search Recoma Mask, and you'll find that. Kimberly Courtney, schools will be another buyer for masks. Absolutely. Great comment there. Definitely. When schools open back up, you bet all the teachers, all the students, all of that will need masks. So look at your local schools and daycares. Kesha Moss asked again, should newbies master one item before offering our service for hire, or should we master the machine as a whole first? That's a great question, Kesha, and I think you can approach it in whatever way best suits you, right? If you master the whole machine as a whole, I mean, what does that really mean, right? Are you talking about mastering everything, all types of items? I would say that it depends on your capacity and your ability to learn and your time, right? If you are looking to kind of get some business in the door, I would definitely encourage you to go with the first option and master one item first, right? Because depending on what time you have and how long of a runway you have in your business, like, hey, I'm giving myself like 6 months to build this, this pipeline of business up, or 12 months, then you have a lot longer time. Perhaps then you can just, bunker down and work on the craft. But if your runway is not that large and you're looking at, okay, I only have like 2 or 3 months, I need to start kind of, paying the machine and making those payments, then you might want to just kind of focus on what's in demand in your local area, get one or two accounts and get in the door, and then master those items, right? Do the simple stuff first, like the polo shirts or t-shirts, right? Some people like to jump into caps. If you have a knack for it and you kind of follow it, you really practice it, you really hoop it well, you can also jump into caps, right? It just really depends on the time that you're dedicated to it, right? I don't know your situation. I don't know if you might have a full-time job and you're doing this, part-time at night. That's going to limit you on the resources and the time that you have to really master that craft. So if you have ample time, I would say go and master the machine and really feel comfortable with it. If you're limited on time, focus on one thing at a time that you can actually start getting value from and offering those to your customers, so you can start getting a return on your investment. But either way, you have to ask yourself that question and see what time you're willing to dedicate to learning this craft and what time you have to practice it. Yeah, and one other thing I would mention to you, which Linda Russell also mentioned here too, is just send out your digitizing at first, right? So make sure you're learning the craft. The first thing you focus on should not be the digitizing. If you have no design experience in the past and you're looking to offer a quality service to your customers, just outsource that first and master the craft. Master that one item, master those two items that you can offer value to your customers, and then showcase that work. Master that work and showcase that work and get good feedback from your customers that they can then refer you other customers. And then slowly, if you want to add on digitizing as your second item to tackle, you're more than welcome to do that, and you can always upgrade your digitizing software at a later time. But that helps you be able to focus on one thing at a time, and probably the most value add thing is to master the craft and the actual embroidery, provided that you have no embroidery or sewing experience in the past. That's your first thing to tackle. So GHSLK asked, I get a lot of vibration when embroidering. Is that due to the speed or the way the design is digitized? So probably due to the speed. Obviously at higher speed, your hoop is going to bounce more, but you can also add a table underneath it to stabilize it, and that will minimize the actual vibration. You can make sure that it's on your stand, your actual machine stand is on a level ground, and that it's kind of tightened down so that it kind of makes sure that's level, and that will minimize some of the vibration as well. But if you're worried about the vibration, shouldn't be an issue. Just put a table underneath it, which your machine should come with one. Katie Doyen says, thanks to all the techs, Recoma support is always there for me. Thank you so much for that, Katie, and we're always going to be there for you every step of the way. So don't be shy, and this goes out to not just you, but everyone else that had any questions about the technical things, whether it's thread breaks or embroidering on caps. Look, our support team is there to make sure that gets taken care of. So if you're if you're doubtful about something or don't know how to do something, call them. That's what they're there for, and they're waiting for your call to be able to help you, and they get a great sense of gratification and satisfaction from the fact that they're able to resolve those issues for you guys. So if you're unsure about something, and embroidery is going to be a learning curve, as with anything that's worthwhile doing, right? As I always say, anything is worthwhile doing is not going to be quick, not going to be fast, not going to be easy. Because if it were, then a lot more people would do it, and it would not be as profitable as it is. So make sure that you are contacting the support team if that's something that you want to take care of, and they'll be more than happy to assist you. Brandy Smith, like I mentioned, call our support. Call the support team and get got to be specific on what issue you're having, so that they can, and what machine, what issue you're having, and perhaps get you retrained if that's something that might be helpful. Because I know that in some trainings, there's so many things going on, and you're at home especially, and maybe I've seen people like do laundry and all of these other things, and they might be not be paying attention or be distracted by what's going on. If you need another training, reach out to our support team. They're more than happy to retrain you. Linda Sander, think about moving to Phoenix, Arizona area. Do you have service reps locally? Yes, as I think I mentioned this similar before. Someone mentioned that about Arizona. Okay, let's see what other questions here. Kesha Moss, I feel lucky to be in Miami for this new journey. I purchased the MT-1501. Thanks. Definitely, Kesha. Again, we'll be with you every step of the way. 2 weeks ago. Munoz Jr. just got my MT51 in about 2 weeks ago, and next week I get my cap and large heat press, ready to get things rolling. Thanks again. Awesome, Mike. And like I said, if you haven't taken your training or your pre-training, get that going. All right. Steve Corsi, can you lease or rent a machine? So currently no program to lease or rent the machine. There's a lease to own, so you can pay on a monthly basis and finance it, and then at the end of the terms, you actually own the machine. So there's no actual rental that you can return it back. Chola Vasquez, hello, I just got my new SWD last week, does not fit through the doors. Can it be flipped on its side and get it through the doors? Yes, it can, just be very careful with that. We usually, what we do is we get, several people and we tilt it, and we gotta bring it in very, very quickly. So don't put it directly on its side, but just tilt it so that it can fit through the doors. Marcus Anthony, does the EM1010 have an auto thread for the bobbin? No, it does not. As I mentioned before, that's more of a home embroidery machine feature. A lot of people have, they on the home embroidery machines they have that feature. So it's really a bells and whistles thing. But all commercial machines, and the EM1010 being a semi-commercial machine, will have to thread by hand. Stacy Hutchinson, how soon will you be getting the belt frame in for the EM1010? We want to make wrist brackets with wrist bracelets, and would like to know. Check with our team. I'm not really sure on the inventory there, but I know we were back ordered for the belt hoop and the 8-in-1 hoop. I know the 8-in-1 fast frames are actually in stock now. So if you're looking to get that, and then the belt hoops, you just have to ask our team and check the inventory there. Brady Smith, like I mentioned, the question you have about the hook catching and error message can easily be answered by a support agent. So just, if you don't know the number, actually I already see that our team has given you the number. Give them a call right now. They're right outside this room, and they're willing to help you out on that, and we can diagnose and get you back up and running much faster. Okay, we're getting close to the top of the hour. I'm going to go back to YouTube really quick and just check any questions we got there. First Lady Co. asked, my name is Jeannie from Virginia. I want to know if the magnetic hoops fit the EM1010. Just purchased my machine yesterday. Yes, so they do. There's a specific bracket for it, though. So you need to get the specific size that you want and the bracket for it. But there are mighty hoops that are usable on the EM1010. Anurag Singh, do you export embroidery machines to India? Yes, we actually have several dealers in India, so get in touch with our, or fill out a contact form on our website. It will get routed to the overseas team that can actually handle your inquiry. Precious Malaji asks, why does my machine break needles when I embroider caps? I'm using the exact same machine as the one in your background, which is the MT1501. So I would really encourage you to look at our cap hooping videos and the one that we did on the Richardson caps. Those are the toughest structured cap in the industry, and we were able to do those at 1,000 stitches per minute. So a lot of it will come down to hooping. If your cap is not hooped tightly, and it's moving around, that's going to deflect the needle. As we show you in the video, when the garment is bouncing up and down and it's moving from side to side, it's going to deflect the needle and it's going to hit the needle plate instead of going through the needle hole, and that's what causes most needle breaks. So hat hooping is one thing, and making sure that your presser foot is actually set up to do the hats that you're doing, depending on the thickness of the cap, or if you're doing 3D puff, you need to kind of raise the pressure foot a bit. And all of those things, all of those operator things, you need to make sure that those are in line and make sure that you have those set up properly, and then that will minimize the number of thread breaks and needle breaks that you're getting. But again, if you have our machine on the MT1501, contact a support agent. They can actually see how you're hooping it and guide you through it, right? Like just watching a video we cannot see what you're doing, and you kind of have to do it over and over again in practice. But if you're on a video conference with a support agent, they can point out right then and there if you're hooping it properly. Katie Doyen asks, is it worth the money to get the tension gauge, and which one do you recommend? I know some people use the TOWA, T-O-W-A tension gauge. We personally don't use it here. I don't think it's necessary. Some people like that more, having on a reading and more precise with it. We usually just do it by feel, and we have a tension test to visually verify if the tension is correct. So while the tension gauge can be very helpful in kind of giving you a reading for the actual tension, what you also have to realize is how fast you pull the actual tension gauge when it's hooked onto the thread. That actually changes how the reading is going to read. Also for the bobbin tension too, like how quickly you pull it is going to determine some variance in the tension. So it's not perfect. It's not accurate to 100%, and that's why we feel that if you want to purchase it, go ahead, but it's not really necessary if you just know what to look for. If you do a tension test, you're going to see which tensions are off, and you're gonna know what to adjust. Is it loosening the tension, loosening the top tension, tightening the top tension, or loosen or tighten the bobbin tension? You're gonna see from the actual results of your tension test rather than relying on a gauge, and because different threads will have different tension settings as well, right? Some threads are more flimsy, some threads are tighter, and that's going to give you different tension readings. So it's not across the board that you can just have, okay, this tension is what I want to get to, and you just have to see kind of what actually is happening on your tension test. That's the best and surefire way to kind of visually troubleshoot it and then visually make those tweaks. Zane Jefferson asks, what digitizing software do you recommend for beginners? So we have a beginner digitizing software called Chroma. We have 3 different tiers: Inspire, Plus, and Lux. If you're starting out, maybe try out the Chroma Inspire. You can always upgrade to the later tiers. We have tutorials on YouTube on how to use it, how to do some simple lettering, monograms. You're going to be a little bit limited on some of the functionality, like the stitch types and 3D puff and all of those things. If you want to do more of those, that's when you upgrade to the higher tiers to be able to unlock those features and functionalities. However, just starting out, you can just use Chroma Inspire and kind of get your hands, get your feet wet and kind of get some hands-on time with it to see how you like it. Actually, we have a free trial that you can download. You don't even have to buy it. You can download Chroma and you can play around with it, and actually the highest tier. So you have unlock all the functions, and the only thing is you can't save any designs that you play with on there, but you can see how the actual machine works, or sorry, how the actual software works, so that you can see if you like it.
We are 4 minutes over.
Okay, yeah. All right, I'm gonna go through. I'm gonna rapid fire through a couple of last questions because we're coming up to we're already past the top of the hour. I want to get some last questions in. Lexi Vance, I think I heard you mention this already, but I came in while you were talking. Is there a video on doing leather material? What needle should you be using? Yes. So there is a video on that. You can use 7511, sharp point, or 8012, depending on the thickness and toughness of that leather. And we also have other tips for you to make sure to stabilize it and make sure that the quality is good. All right. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, Betty Hernandez also said, "Hi everyone. I've been pleased with my MT1501 since I received it. Why is all the negativity going on Ricoma Facebook page? I mostly just avoid it, not to see all the negativity." Yeah, and I think my team answered that for me down there. I didn't see this question until now. There was always going to be some negativity, right? I mean, with anything that that you do. You can't please every single person. But generally, I would like to think that, myself and the team are generally positive. And I believe that most of the people on our page here or in our Facebook groups are generally positive. And even the people that are negative, we try to help them out as much as possible, right? Like we're not gonna, refuse to help them. That's not what we're here to do. We're here to make sure that you are successful. So if you're, and sometimes people might be having a bad day or they're just generally frustrated. And like I said, embroidery is not going to be plug and play. So I would encourage you to utilize the resources that we have handy and make sure that if you're struggling with something, if you're frustrated with something, first, sure, you can go ahead and vent about it, but eventually you're gonna have to bunker down and actually, learn how to do it, right? So that's what our team is here for. They're more than willing to help. All it takes is asking them for that help, and just ask like, hey, is it possible for you to look at this and help me on it? We won't know unless you ask, right? So just ask. There's no shame in that. There's no don't be shy about it. That's why we have a whole support team, a whole support and service team here to make sure that you're taken care of. And so the negativity is always going to be there. It's with anything in the world, in business, in politics. It doesn't matter what you deal with. There's always going to be people that are overly negative. But I believe that most people are going to be positive, and I generally associate myself with positive people, and I encourage you to do the same because that positivity is only going to spread. I think. And that's just gonna have a much better vibe, a much more good vibe for everyone that's involved. So that's my take on that. But I think my team has answered that in a very similar way. Last couple of questions. Eric Castillo, the 1010 is a commercial machine or it's a semi-commercial machine. So it's not like the fully commercial machines like the TC, MT, or SWD. All right. So I want to make that clear. The embroidery area is smaller. Right, the embroidery area is smaller, slower speed, 1,000 SPM versus 1,200 SPM maximum speed on the commercial machines, and you have fewer hoops and fewer needles. You have 10 needles versus the 15 needles. So it's a semi-commercial machine. Cool. Kesha Moss, once I learn my MT1501, I'm looking to purchase a DTG. Hopefully it will be from Ricoma. We have some big stuff coming, Kesha. We have some big exciting things coming. So if you're talking about DTG, stay tuned for another like 2 to 3 weeks. And I'm not saying that you should get on it then, but we'll be with you and just keep an eye out for some exciting stuff that we'll be showcasing in the near future. Cool. Stacy Hutchison. Yeah, you always have trolls. This is a great group. Yep, trolls are all over the internet. That's the downside of the internet. But we welcome everyone, and we're here to make sure there's a positive vibe. Linda Russell, good to see you. Henry, Lara, and the whole Ricoma team, good to see you again, Linda. Awesome. I think that's it for all the questions. I'm going to go in and make sure to wrap this up and with a couple of things, right? I did promise you guys a 3-month subscription to HoopMade. Okay, so my team is going to randomly draw and get the winner there. That's the first thing. So as they do that, I'm also going to wrap up with something else. I do want to mention, I talked about Decco Summit at the beginning of this live stream on both Facebook and YouTube. This is the first time that we're doing it on both. I think I like this format, and we're going to continue this format going forward on both Facebook and YouTube. I did want to mention regarding to the Decco Summit, okay? If you haven't gotten your tickets already, they're going to go up by the end of next month. So we're in the second phase of our ticket sales, June and July. By the end of July, the ticket prices are going to go up again. It already went up once. If you missed April and May, it already went up once now in June, okay? So make sure you get in on that. Also, I did see a couple of people interested in getting started with a machine. Some people asked me what machine to get and all of those things. If you're looking to get a machine, I forgot to say this at the beginning of the video. For Decco Summit, okay, if you get a machine, you get a free general admission ticket along with that purchase. All right, that's something that we are promoting recently to incentivize people to kind of go to Decco Summit and make sure that you get the value there. Because I truly believe if you get a machine out of ours, it wouldn't make any sense if you don't go to Decco Summit and get more of the training, right? So just to be clear. Some people confuse that with like, oh, Decco Summit is the only training that I'll have on a new machine. No. You still get your online training. You go through your pre-training portal on the website. You can schedule your live training with a trainer here, and you get the after-hour support and the 7-day support and our service team. All of that is still available. Decco Summit is something completely different, completely separate from all that. But you get a lot more, right? You're getting the really in-depth on like how to do certain projects, how to do freestanding lace, how to do, Richardson caps, how to do direct-to-garment printing, how to do multimedia design. So you can do like heat transfer plus embroidery at the same time. All of those are available at Decco Summit, and that one of the general admission tickets will be included with a machine purchase. All right, and then if you're already purchased a machine, also get in touch with us if you wanna upgrade. You can also upgrade your ticket if you got a general admission ticket. You can also upgrade to VIP or the VIP plus hands-on training. All of that information is on our website. All right, so if you're interested in checking out a machine, my team has pinned the link in the description below for 0% financing as low as $135 a month. You can get in on that. You also have Decco Summit ticket. Okay. Make sure you get in on that. Make sure before the prices go up. If you haven't joined our Facebook group already, Embroidery and Custom Apparel Mastery, click that link in the description below. That will take you directly to that group. There's over 18,000 people in that group right now. Make sure you join the correct one, because there's a troll out there that's trolling us with the same name. They created an exact same name of our Embroidery and Custom Apparel Mastery group. That one only has like 100 people. Make sure you join the 18,000 one. That's the one that we have. We obviously we'll just ignore the troll that has created the other group with the exact same name. So make sure you join that, and look forward to chatting with you in there. And last but not least, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done so already. If you're on YouTube or if you're on Facebook, head on over to YouTube and subscribe to our channel. A ton of content on there. We post like 2 to 3 videos on a weekly basis on like how to do certain projects. I have a business podcast on there on how to scale your custom apparel business. All of that is going to be super helpful for you. All right. So let's announce the winner. Do we have the winner?
I'll let him know to put it.
Okay. Last but not least, a drum roll, please. We're going to announce the winner of the 3-month subscription to Hoopmade. Let's see who's that. And Eric, it's $135 for the EM1010, not the 1501. The 1501 starts at around $200 per month. All right, so the winner of Hoopmade subscription is Shan Isaacson Heath. So congrats, Shan. And we will get in touch with you to send you the code that you'll be able to access your 3 months free Hoopmade subscription. All right, thank you so much for joining this live, and we'll be giving away a lot more prizes in the future. We've given away like Hoopmaster and like all-in-one hooper and 8-in-1s. So next month, make sure to tune in. We'll be giving away a lot more prizes, and definitely stay tuned. Hopefully this was helpful for you. I answered a ton of questions on both Facebook and on our YouTube channel. Hopefully this was helpful for you, but most importantly, make sure to implement and make sure you are doing these things in your business. I hope you found this helpful, and make sure to implement. I'll see you guys back here next month. All right, thank you guys so much.